Hey, I'm Krista Wax. You are listening to MSP Sound on KFAI, and I'm so excited. I have Holy Hannah with me.
Sure. So happy to be here with you, Krista.
Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. I feel like this is should have happened a long time ago, but the important part is we're here now.
Yes, we are here now, and I'm so grateful to see your shining face at the most recent show we had out at Bear Cave Brewing in Hopkins. That was awesome that you came out to support.
It was
Um,
fun. That
yeah.
was a blast. It was a beautiful, perfect fall day
No,
on the rooftop, and your music and the beverages and the pizza and the music.
it's great. Yeah, big thanks to them for hosting us and Dark Pony,
Yes.
John Herkert's project. So he's been curating the music out there through a kind of premise he calls Deck Night. And he invited me to come down and play. And we played, and it's been a real fun home return journey back here in Minneapolis. Getting reconnected with everyone and getting the ball rolling again. It's been really, really lovely. I'm just like my heart is so full. I'm so happy. That's great.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so happy that you're back. You never left my show. I've continued to play your music, and I do continue to play artist music even if after they leave the state.
I love that.
You're
Thank you.
still here in my heart in the
Aw.
show. You're still here. You've always been here. So, but now you're physically like kind of inching your way back around again, just
Yeah.
kind of popping up here and there, giving us a little tease. It's so exciting.
It is exciting. And it's more than a tease too. I think I was telling you, legitimately needed to get some perspective and scope and step away from the hometown in order to reappreciate it. And I don't even know if I was doing that intentionally at the time. At the time, I was just like, I need some change and I'm getting out of here. But then the amount of growth that's taken place since then and everything that's transpired, it was like this time around coming back home, I felt it in my heart. And so I was like, I'm ready to reconnect and I'm ready to build something. And I had a beautiful reminder last night about just like slow and steady wins the race. Cause I know sometimes I get like impatient or get chomping at the bit too much. And then instead of just like, you know, just steady, constant growth, doesn't have to be all here right now, and being satisfied with that process. And so I just saw a little reminder about that last night, and it really hit home, especially in regards to music and my career and rebuilding that here. And especially coming home this time around, I'm like just reminded of the richness of the musical community here. And it's so cool because it feels so supportive and collaborative. But that also means like putting yourself out there, putting myself out there, and being open for that collaboration instead of being afraid of it. Because before it was like this, I'm going to expose my weaknesses, and I'm not a real musician, and I'm not trained in theory, and I'm just totally an intuitive player and all these things. But instead, I'm finding by being open, I have all of these who what turns out to be my local heroes of mine, uh, pledging their support basically to be involved with the project and making music together. And I'm just so honored and excited. And we've got the show coming up together. So it's just great. Things are great.
That's good. That's wonderful. It's so exciting to hear because I do think we have such a unique music community here. I don't know. It could just be very biased, but I think it's probably the best one in the whole country. But um, I could be very biased, but I think Minnesota music community is amazing.
It is amazing. And I think we have the benefit too, in a roundabout way, of there not being a music industry here per se. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, all the times I've heard people say to me or others in general, being like, well, if you're really serious about music, why don't you go to one of the big hubs? Why aren't you in New York? Why aren't you in LA? Why aren't you in Nashville or Austin? Like really rubbing elbows with like the big shots and trying to get in it, make it happen. But it's almost like in those places, because the music industry is there, there's this underlying like psychology of competitiveness almost, and maybe without people even being aware of it, it just kind of feels that way. Anytime I've been in those spaces, it just feels like, whoa, all kinds of things that I don't feel like I can trust farther than I can throw it, you know? But here, I would theorize or make an inference that because the industry, there isn't an industry here, it allows for people, for musicians just to relate together as musicians, like a brother sisterhood, you know? And I'm just so encouraged that is the predominant, it feels like that's the predominant attitude around here. And then of course the winter times, and how we all know what that does for the creative need for outlet.
Yes. But I think you're so right. I never thought of it that way, that because we don't have a huge hub here, an industry hub, that is a huge reason why people are still kind of like meeting up, collaborating. It's not that competitive. I mean, it can be, but okay. I like that. I never thought about that. You're in it, you know. I just talk about it and play the music.
I mean, yeah, I agree. There are, of course, and I think in any corner of any community, there's can be a competitive nature too. But I just don't think that it's. I mean, I've experienced it firsthand also, or even like within my. Oh God, I don't want to go too off the rails here about that. But just it is what I mean to say is, yes, it exists, but I feel that the overriding sense is like, let's lift each other up. Let's celebrate the cool, amazing things that are happening here creatively.
Yes.
Yes.
The positive. Yes. That's what's
Positive side. Yeah. Sorry to bring it back around.
I'm glad you did. I'm sorry. I think I took us off the rails slightly. I did not mean to.
No, I no. Oh, we're just exploring some ideas, some thoughts here, right?
Right. It's the best time to do it right now.
I'd say.
But along with all that fun stuff that you're kind of dipping your toes back here in town, you have a big show coming up.
Yeah, I am thrilled. I tell you what, for so many reasons. Um, and not in any particular order, or maybe. So I get to share the night with these really, like I mentioned before, these local heroes of mine, uh, cats who I would consider local legends for sure, and if not national. And um, I just am so honored that we get to share a show at the Icehouse coming up here. So Tuesday, November 7th, uh, I will have Stan Kipper, the lead frontman, drummer, vocalist, songwriter from New Primitives, and Tom Peterson, who played bass with them for a long time and has been involved in many other projects around town. They are joining me as the rhythm section, and we've been talking about playing together for years, Krista. I mean, I've been so lucky to befriend these gentlemen, and they've just really been very supportive of my career pursuit, my musical pursuit over the years. And so we've been talking about, okay, when the time's right, we're gonna get together and do something, and it's happening. And so they're sitting in on these songs, and we're having a great time. I mean, these are some busy mother effers, you know. They got a lot of irons and a lot of fires, and I'm just so honored that they would make time to come in and make tunes with old Holy Hannah. So I am just so excited. And what's more is we've got Dark Pony opening up. So John Herkert is an excellent songwriter. I would consider borderline musical genius kind of level producer ability and just song sensibility and soundscapes and like knack for melodies and just has really this nice aesthetic dialed in. And he's played with plays with Tina and the B-sides. When she comes to town, he also toured with Johnny Lang, and he's got a studio that he's he is going to be kicking off the night with none other than JT Bates, John Fields, and George Scott McKelvey. As he's got, they're all working together on new music, and so it's just, I mean, the fact that all of these amazing musicians are coming together, we get to share this evening is going to be fabulous. I'm so excited and also very nervous because I'm like, whoa, this is playing with the big cats now. So getting ready for it. And so again, that's going to be Tuesday, November 7th at the Icehouse. We've got the doors are at 6 o'clock. Music kicks off at 8. Dark Pony opens up. And if you want to get advance tickets, they are available through the Icehouse website. $10 a pop. It says to be, for full disclosure, there do end up being some fees for buying it online. So if cash is king for you, it's $15 at the door. And we're gonna have one hell of a time. One amazing time. It's gonna be awesome.
That's amazing. What a great lineup. How are you prepping for this show? Is there like a lot of like, are you all getting together and practicing a lot? Is this kind of like, is this going to be kind of an organic experience? People will just like watch it unfold? What? Tell me.
Great question. I think this will be a somewhat organic experience. So I have a personal practice and preparation, which can be a struggle for me uh, to really sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to prepare my set list. Let's pretend I'm playing the show, and then see just kind of what comes out of me and in what order, and I'll write that down as a reference, right? And so that's an ideal scenario. Sometimes I really struggle just to be able to do that. And if I can focus enough just to play like 5 songs, like I'm like, okay, great. At least, you know, got through something. So especially working with musicians who I respect so much, I'm trying my best not to let my nerves get in the way, because what happens when I get nervous is I start to procrastinate. And instead of just like the slow and steady wins the race, just like the little by little, steady, consistent, like, no, I can break it down into manageable chunks of time. But I'm still learning how to do that. So thankfully, deadlines really help me a lot, and so I've got some rehearsals with the guys coming up this week, and I that drives my personal practice and preparation to be ready for them. So we'll be able to get in the room together at least one time together. And these guys are so good that, if I give them a roadmap, that's then it can happen organically. Like we're listening to each other and letting it the music kind of drive itself in the moment also. So there's like all kinds of room for magic. Well, music is magic, I think. And yeah, I'm feeling all kinds of mixed emotions about this, but they're all good ones. All kinds of good things.
Of course, that sounds like a great show and a great opportunity just to showcase everything.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the other thing too is, I'll be completely honest with you right now. So when I was running away from Minneapolis, and I was feeling pretty jaded about a lot of things. And then after about 3 years of being gone and coming back, and having a lot of time to like go to the woodshed, like I was playing 3 to 5 shows a week for, we'll say on average 7 months straight for the last 3 years. I've never played music full time in that capacity before. I've been on tours before where we'd be out up to 4 weeks at a time, shows most nights. But this was by far the first time I really could call myself a full-time musician. And it was really amazing until it wasn't, like in terms of my burnout, um, and learning how to manage my energy, how to stay motivated at a show when you're paying to pay your rent. You're playing to pay your rent. And you have to show up and entertain people or give a piece of yourself to people, do this really like it's a tall order when your well is empty and when the last thing you want to do is play a show, but you have to. So through that whole process, I learned so much and I grew so much, and it feels like I leveled up in a very important way and created some awareness surrounding some crucial things. And also, so I'm at this moment where I get to, as in returning to Minneapolis, um, I'm excited to like express just this new place I'm in, and especially alongside um, these uh, these musicians who I respect so much. Um, and and then also just kind of do a lot of application of those reflections I've made to how I'm going to move forward, and really like holding myself to a new standard, and also like dialing this like music career, which I 100% feel is my calling and meant to do, but dialing it in a way that's going to work for me and managing that energy, without getting burnt out or overextended. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm thinking, quality versus quantity, and just like being really intentional about everything that I'm doing going forward. And um, yeah, I'm really thrilled. I'm really honored, and it's such a pleasure to get to share this journey and process and this music with dear Minneapolis in live and in person, um, after all this time. It's so cool.
That's wonderful. That's quite the experience you're going through and the journey of just kind of coming to these realizations. And what a great spot to be in where you can kind of come back from the other side and be like, okay, this is the new approach.
Yes.
This is how I want to handle things. This is how I want to be and this is how I want to feel.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna still be snowbirding a bit. Um,
Don't blame you at all.
yeah, I know, and I'm I'm very. It's not. Trust me, it's not lost on me how lucky I am that circumstantially my life is such that I'm able to do that. Um, it also means like 4 or 5, at least half of the year or portion of the year, this time around 4 or 5 months, that I'm just like working my butt off, stacking cash like nobody's business, and just burning it from both ends. And then I go down, and I've been playing this year. I'm going to do it a little differently. So I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. When I go back to Mexico, I'm not going to go for as long, and because again, I'm really trying to reroute myself in Minneapolis. So I'm just going to head for like 4 months, and I'll be there, playing 2 different festivals down there. So if you'd like to come visit, um,
I'm in.
yes, please do. So we're playing one festival in San Pancho, otherwise its formal name is San Francisco, in the state of Nayarit in Mexico. This is on the west coast, Pacific coast. Um, February 27th and 28th, I believe, or the 26th through the 28th. And we'll be playing one of those days. I believe Stan will be there with me, playing, but at least if not the Minneapolis band, I have a awesome group of cats that I'm working with down in Mexico. And then also, I'm playing the Sands and Strings Festival, which is a new festival that's happening in Sayulita, Mexico. This is where I've been staying most of for the last 3 years, which is just a 10-minute drive from San Pancho. So they're like little sister towns. And there's a tremendous music and art scene there. Um, and it's really great that we get to be a part of two of these musical showcases happening. So the second one, the Sands and Strings, that's going to be April 5th and 6th, and Brothers Comatose are headlining. This is a 2-day festival, but we're playing the same day as Brothers Comatose, I believe. And also, I noticed on the there's like at least 15 different bands playing for this festival. But I noticed that the Lowest Pair are going to be
Oh, wow.
there as well. And I know they're um, are they Minneapolis based, or they're from Minneapolis? I thought, right?
It's,
They're like considered a local act
I think they're like local adjacent,
or
but I'm
something.
not sure how. Yes.
So, well, anyways, I saw that and I was like, whoa! If people need an excuse to get out of Dodge, and want to come visit me down in Mexico, come on down.
I mean, who doesn't want to escape Minneapolis in the winter? All
Yeah.
of it. Okay,
So,
most of us.
so yeah, if you have any questions about that, you can feel free to get in touch with me directly. My Instagram is Holy Hannah Club, and you can direct message me there and be like, "Hey, send me information about these festivals. I want to come." It'll be a really good time. Yeah. So then, just this winter, just kind of doing the festivals, and maybe I'll pick up like a once, most twice a week kind of gig. But I've really just like I realized, and my best friend helped me to realize, I haven't given myself a proper actual break from all kinds of work, in a very long time, at least since COVID. And so I think this winter will be more of a reprieve. And what's more is also scheming about the next recording project. So whether that looks like an EP or an album, I have to determine the budget and need to focus on fundraising to make that happen, which is because I'm really trying to like I said, level up here. I want to put a good number of eggs in this basket. And so, um, if you're interested also in sponsoring a song, I'd love to hear from you. That would be amazing to just help make this next recording project happen. In fact, we already tracked the first song. It's called Fickle Wind. Will be I'll release it as a single at some point, and that'll be kind of like the, how can I say, the um, trailer preview for the next recording project, and help to garner some interest, we're hoping, in financial support. So I'm working with John Herker, of course, Dark Pony. Um, uh, he's been helping me co-produce that song, and or I should, uh, we're we're very close. We're very close to having it done, and then I can share it around. So good things, all good things happening right now.
Yes, this is all very, very exciting news.
Yeah.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much. I mean, that's you answered any questions I had. What else? Any new music? And sometimes it's awkward to ask someone if they have new music because you never know what someone's going to say.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, yep, no.
Right? Like, not right now.
Still incubating, always incubating.
Yes. Well, it's so fun. So new music on the horizon. Most importantly, the show at Icehouse,
Yes.
November 7th with Dark Pony. That'll be amazing.
It'll be amazing.
Let's see. And some music festivals, Mexico in the winter. I mean, Hannah, I think you're doing everything right.
Well, gosh darn it. I I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, Krista, and I can say, you know, it's all like life never stops being challenging, right? It's just like you can kind of what I can say is I wouldn't just this I've like chosen my set of challenges, I guess. Like moved into new challenges instead of the ones that I was experiencing before. And doing that by means of like a heart-based path and an intuitively based path. Like just feeling like, okay, what excites me and just like moving into those spaces and moving into those challenges. And it's been very rewarding and very frustrating all at the same time. But I'm so just grateful to be here to talk about those things with you today and share them with your listeners. And yeah, it's just it's beautiful stuff to get to reflect on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll see you Tuesday, November 7th.
Great.
Icehouse.
Can't wait to see you there.